Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Within Warzone Season 1 Reloaded, we obviously have a bit of a meta shift with some of the updates that took place, and this means that in general, the Resurgence meta has also shifted some. There are some new viable options in the mix, whether it be for some of your sniper support, whether it be for your run and gun style loadouts. If you're jumping into some Ashika or some Vondel, I got you covered with the best possible loadouts you want to be using. As we get into it all, if you enjoy the video or if you find it helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all things going on, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Real quick, perks and equipment are going to be the same on all 5 loadouts here today. Smokes are obviously so clutch as a tactical. You can use it for cover, to res, to rotate, whatever the case may be. And of course, if we're playing Resurgence, we want to go for those insta finishes, get those pings on our radar ASAP, and the throwing knives are the best way to do that. As far as the perk package goes, Mountaineer, especially on like Vondel, if I'm trying to, go from rooftop to rooftop and I don't make it, or I'm trying to chase somebody, I don't have to worry about any fall damage. It's perfect, especially for someone like me who's prone to fall damage. Double time for the better tack sprint, obviously tempered because I prefer medic vests in game, and flex obviously for the better footstep audio. But that out of the way, we can focus on our first loadout here, which is completely invisible in the background there, but it's the SVA and the Striker. The SVA as a rifle here is just phenomenal. It's so easy to use. You can use the tap fire for the hyper burst or full auto. It's going to be low recoil and have a phenomenal TTK. So initially, you guys know the drill by now. I love the 2.5 times eagle eye optic. It's perfect for mid to long range builds here. Low visual recoil, just nice and clean, but always use the optic you are the most comfortable with. 45 round mag or 60 round mag, either or works just fine there. Ruin heavy underbarrel, better control, better stability as well, really focusing on that horizontal control and making the recoil pattern super predictable. I like the precision barrel here. It's that 3-in-1 combo of control, range, and velocity, so just making your mid to long range even more efficient. And Spirit Fire Suppressor does more of the same there. Better control, better range, better velocity, better pizza, Papa John's. We had to throw it in there. But yeah, just a really solid rifle setup here, perfect for your mid and long range gunfights. And to hold down the close range, we got the Striker 9. This thing is super reliable, also though invisible on the menu still, because why would the game ever function as intended? I don't love the iron sights here, so I do go for the Elo sight, the MK3 reflector. If you're okay with the irons, you could jump over to like, a stock here. You could do a laser if you wanted to as well. 40 round mag works fine in my opinion, but if you want to jump up to 50, it'll be a tad bit slower for your general movement, but it's sufficient as well for sure. I've got the choke angle grip here. This helps out with horizontal control, again makes the pattern more predictable. It also gives you better movement speed and strafe speed. I really like the versatility that this adds to the setup and makes it a little bit more aggressive as well. I also go for the Shadow Strike suppressor. It's relatively low recoil, so you can get away with using a suppressor that just simply keeps you off the minimap. And lastly, I've got the long barrel on here. Helps extend that damage range a little bit, makes it a bit more versatile and efficient if you find yourself in like some mid-range gunfights. But yeah, both of these weapons combined work really, really well together. For what it's worth though, you can mix and match a lot of the primaries and secondaries today. It'd be cool if they loaded though. There they are. After that, I've got my main Resurgence sniper loadout, obviously featuring the KATT. This is going to be your one true one-shot sniper. You don't have to worry about using any special ammo or anything. I'm going for the best velocity possible here. They did nerf this build with Season 1 Reloaded, but it's still the best sniper. So Suppressor XL, on here with the Nightfall, it's going to give us better velocity, and that's really all we care about. Like the range and the control is cool, but that's not relevant for a one-shot sniper. Velo is all we care about. The Zang barrel is going to help out more with velocity, as well as are the Spire point rounds. Even though they're nerfed, it's still giving you some good velo there. Just behind the face cam, I've got the quick bolt, so I can actually shoot my bullets back to back to back faster. That's obviously clutch for getting kills back to back to back. And then in my opinion, you got 2 choices for stocks. If you run around with your KATT a lot as your primary, you want to use the rubberized stock. This gives you better mobility across the board. That said, if you always have like your secondary out and you just switch to this for long range, go for the tack pad. This is going to help out with your ADS speed to make that more snappy and that more aggressive. Real quick, I'll go ahead and hide the face cam if you want to get a quick screenshot with all 5 attachments on there. But yeah, this is clearly the #1 go-to sniper option still in Resurgence. Then I like to pair this with the WASP-9. This is a great sniper support SMG, really solid mid-range, easy to use, good mobility across the board. I go for the Shadow Strike suppressor straight up because he doesn't really need added control. If you wanted to go for a better range and velocity, you could absolutely do this on a weapon like this for sniper support. Use the sonic suppressor for that. That's a great choice for that, obviously. Hand stop on here, better mobility across the board, movement speed, strafe speed, ADS speed, sprint to fire. The 40 round mag for me with that slower fire rate sufficient, but again, if you want to jump up to 50, feel free to do so. No wrong answer there. Don't love the irons here, especially for mid-range. So again, I go for the reflector sight, and then the factory stock is better mobility. Hurts your control a little bit, but it's not a huge deal when this weapon is just so easy to use. So great sniper support, and it's super aggressive at the same time. Hey everyone, while we're on the topic of loadouts, obviously your in-game loadout matters. You want to be using the best of the best. So why not apply that to real life as well? That's right, set yourself up for success by picking up a pair of gamer advantage glasses. I wear mine daily, and ever since I started doing that, I noticed I'm getting better sleep, feeling rejuvenated and fresh every single day, and that allows me to be more productive and create better content for you all. So whether you're gaming, doing work, school, or just looking at screens for long periods of time, Gamer Advantage should be a part of your day-to-day loadout too. And if you want to pick up a pair for yourself, throw in code Immortal at checkout and it'll get you a nice little discount. The link for that will be down in the description below. Now, initially this spot was going to be planned for the Interceptor in the Swarm, but thankfully they nerfed it before I got time to post this video, so now I can go through and edit this. Now that said, the Swarm is still really good post-update, and in fact, the setup that I've changed to recently featuring the 100 round mag is by far still one of the best options, just because nothing else is really competing with 100 rounds up close. Gives you the ability to push a lot of engagements and a lot of fights that you usually wouldn't be able to. And I paired this with the attack Eradicator, and this build in specific, it's iron sight based, so it works really well for Resurgence style gameplay. This did catch a nerf, but it's still a really reliable weapon, easy to use, decent damage, and I love the versatility of this setup in specific. So I got the Spirit Fire Suppressor, Bruin Heavy Underbarrel, the Conquer 70 Long Barrel helps out with just range and velocity. This gun's so easy to use, you don't really have to worry about not getting any control out of this. Plus, because we're not using an optic, I can use the core stock, which gives me even better recoil control there. And of course, I'm also using the combat rear grip on here, which is even better recoil control as well. So you definitely get a setup that is pretty aggressive still for an LMG, but also very versatile as well, while being easy to use, which is personally something that I enjoy a ton about the Eradicator, and quite frankly a lot of the LMGs. Then the Swarm setup, as mentioned, is my 100 round drum setup, so you got all the ammo in the world with this thing. I've got the NIDAR model 2023 optic on there, that little yellow dot. You can always change this around for whatever one you prefer more. Reckless 90 long barrel on here, hand stop for some better mobility, just because we are slowing this thing down a decent amount with 100 rounds, and with the Jack BFB on here, yeah, it's going to show me on the minimap as an advanced, UAV ping, but I'm close range and I got all the ammo in the world. So if you want to push me, I'm probably just going to spray and pray and pre-fire, So this thing helps out a lot with making this deadly accurate and just a ton of fun to use. Definitely a bit of a different Swarm style setup, but it gets the job done. Next up, we got another fun setup for Resurgence. Maybe my favorite Resurgence setup currently. It's the RAM and the brand new HRM9 SMG as well. As far as the RAM goes, this is my iron sight build. It's like no recoil and it's so much fun to use. Spirit Fire Suppressor, no surprises there. Core Mark 40 Heavy Barrel, it's going to help out with velocity, range, and control. Bruin Heavy support per usual. 60 round drum. Then I go for a recoil based stock here, and quite frankly, Hunker 5 and the 3.4 each work phenomenally. You have different mobility cons on each of these, and it just depends on what you value more, but there's truly no wrong answer here. You could go either or there, and this thing's going to be a no recoil laser beam. Then for the HRM9, unfortunately, my magazines as of the time that I'm recording this are still bugged. I have it maxed out, but I can't throw the 50 round drum on there, so I'd recommend putting the 50 round mag on here, obviously, but for the time being, the other 4 attachments, I'm running the light stock, obviously just straight up better mobility on there. You could also try no stock, but it's going to increase that recoil a lot, so just be mindful of that. We've got the hand stop, better mobility. Shadow Strike Suppressor is nice and easy. It's a very straightforward gun, so you don't have to worry too much about control. And I'm using the long barrel, which helps out velocity and range, gives me the Grau iron sights, and just gives a little bit more versatility to the overall setup and makes it a little bit more practical if you find yourself in the mid-range, while still keeping it snappy and aggressive overall. So really fun SMG here, and it can definitely compete with the best of the best. And then lastly, we got a pretty standard, like, sort of just go-to loadout here, the BAS-B and the Striker, 2 weapons that really won't fail you. This BAS-B setup is the same one that we featured in the recoil video the other day. Again, using that Jack BFB muzzle that gives me insane recoil control. It makes a weapon like the BAS-B, which usually is not great for control, like a laser beam. You're gonna fry with this thing. You got the Venom long barrel, control range and velocity on there. Heavy underbarrel yet again. 45 round mag is the max here, but that's totally sufficient with this fire rate. And once more, the 2.5 times eagle eye optic. No real changes there. And for the Striker, this is one of the most forgiving setups in the game and forgiving weapons in the game. If you're landing headshots or leg shots, it's gonna have a fast TCK. It's easy to use, so again, I go for Shadow Strike Suppressor. I actually like the MSP 98 hand stop. There's not much horizontal bounce on a weapon like this, so you can get away with hurting that. Usually I wouldn't, but it works in this case, and it gives me really good mobility and some better control in general as well. 7mm laser, snappier ADS and sprint to fire. The 48 round mag works fine for me. 60 could work too. It's just going to be a tad bit slower per usual. And then I go for the MK2 light stock, better movement speed overall, making it a tad bit more aggressive. And like I said, this thing's super forgiving, and that's great for players of all skill levels. And that being said, those are 5 of the best Resurgence loadouts to be running in Warzone right now post Season 1 Reloaded. That's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you later. Peace out.